Hello, my loves. This is part 2. So, where I left off, I was talking about how you need to be listening to your guides right now because they're going to be giving you key information that has to do with letting go of your past thoughts, your past in general, ascending, and like raising your vibration. And there's going to be a lot of changes really, really quickly. I'd say within the period of Cancer. With the Four of Pentacles, it talks about financial stability. And so I'd say, like, the message I was given yesterday that had to do with this job change was that whatever is to come is something that is better for me, like mentally, so I'm able to let go of a lot of the stress that I've been holding on to for super long. So another thing that could be really key is doing somatic work that has to do with regulating your nervous system so that you're able to be calmer in a level of peace, but I think also to calm your mind and quiet your mind, because I think with the self-deprecating thoughts going on, you know that those thoughts are not true, but when you're stressed, those things are getting pulled up. So this is like learning how to quiet those thoughts because you know that they're not real, or you know that they're not true, and either counteracting them with affirmations or whatever else that feels right for you. With the Chariot card, it is talking about sustained efforts to win. You've put in so much work, and I think at this point in time, like, not only are you having rapid changes with your life, you're having rapid changes in inner growth. With the Death and the Temperance card, the Temperance card has to do with this inner growth, and like I see like the High Priestess energy in this. With the Death card, it has to do with drastic changes, and it has to do specifically with the god Anansi, I think, which is a spider. And spiders, when you're like dealing with dreams and stuff like that, have to do with anxiety. So you may have a lot of fears about what's going on and the things that are changing, but you're like, I feel like there's a change in mindset where you're still embracing it. With the Five of Pentacles, this has to do with financial loss, but I don't necessarily think it has to do with you losing money in this. I think that this has to do with, the way that I'm seeing it is that you are closing out what doesn't serve you anymore, and I think that it has to do with, what is it called? Things are not going to end cleanly / well when you leave this job. I'd say like you may be somebody who wants to do things like appropriately and professionally and whatever else, but I think that as messed up as this sounds, they don't deserve you to be professional and kind about this and whatever else, because they've never given you that courtesy either. So like my dad used to say this thing all the time, and my mom always jokes about it and whatever, but when you quit a job, you're supposed to give like a 2-week notice. And my dad used to say this thing where he'd say, I'm giving you 2 days notice. I'm leaving today. And that, I think, is like, you're going to get some sort of other job opportunity, and you're not even going to continue to give the job that you're at the time of day anymore. It doesn't serve you. It never has. Or, I mean, obviously it has, because everything happens for a reason, but whatever reason you've been at that job, it's come and gone. It's done. 444 just passed on the timer. I'm going to pause this real quick, and then I'm going to start pulling some moon phase cards and stuff like that, see if we can get any further readings for this. Okay, so I just shuffled off camera, and I'm gonna pull some moon phase cards. I will say I'm pretty hype about, like, it's just like such a small thing to be excited about and stuff like that, but sometimes you just gotta, like, you know, take those small things. I've gotten so many like new books that I'm excited to read. I still am reading Onyx Storm, and I have 150 pages left. I think I'm gonna finish it this weekend, but I'm like, I know it's gonna hurt. But anyways, my birthday is next week, and I'm getting some new tattoos, treating myself for my birthday. And my aunt, which is my mom's best friend, she's coming to visit next week with her son, and I haven't seen him since he was like, I want to say like 2, and I think he's 15 or 16 now, so I'm really excited about that. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of good things coming and changing, and even though I'm terrified, I'm just here for the ride. We just balls in it to the wall. So it says, a win-win outcome is forecast. I think it says full moon in Libra. And then, yeah, full moon in Libra. What else? I'm gonna try and pull 2 more. Maybe 1 more, I don't know. We got 3 more. Okay. We have a time for healing, which is the balsamic moon, and then we have a time to give rather than take. So with that, I want to say, like, something that's really going to help in this change and transformation process is tapping into your creative energy. I know in previous messages I've talked about how in the times where you're feeling anxious and depressed and stuff like that, it's not even necessarily that you're anxious and depressed. It's that you have like a whole bunch of creative energy within you that you're not tapping into, and it's flowing over into other cups that you have. So in this time, the thing that's going to help you to keep this level-headed energy is doing things that you enjoy, creating as much as you can. I'd say within the arts, that's always something that I really like doing, but it doesn't necessarily have to be something you like doing. I like drawing, painting, sketching, writing, even just doing readings and stuff like that. Giving back in some sort of way that feels like it's serving your highest purpose is something that I recommend. And then the final card that we have is Hold Your Vision, Fixed Moon. So that, I think, ties back to the main message, which is put yourself first. And I know that this is a message that I've had to reassure to myself. Yes, you may be putting yourself first, or you may have been putting yourself first, but there could have been things that you didn't necessarily want to acknowledge or do because it just felt too daunting for you. For me, one of the things that felt the most daunting to me is cleaning. I was never really taught properly how to clean, and I'm 23 years old. So for the longest time, I'd always had that mindset where I was like, I'm 23 years old and I don't know how to clean, and it just, like, every time I think about cleaning, it's too much for me. So the last like couple of weeks, I've been getting rid of things that I don't necessarily need or want anymore, and I've been doing that deep cleaning so that, you know, going forward, I'm cleaning more regularly and it doesn't feel as daunting anymore. So there could be things within yourself that you're having to learn, you know, whatever, but the biggest thing is I have this huge bruise on my knee right now. I've like hit it 3 times in like within 24 hours. And I know that sounds like whatever, but basically it means you need to take action and stop fighting yourself on this. Put